Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. It's good to be with you. We are continuing in Rita Berman's Die Welt, Unter, Lupe, Lande, and I'm carrying on with this double page spread. As you can see, I haven't had much progress, but we're going to carry on coloring and see how far we get. So please just bear with me as I finish setting up and making sure that everything is going right. I also need to try and remember what I have done here. So I remember using oyster as my highlighter on the tree. I think I'm going to start with the tree and move around. This is where having my my own channel helps, because I can refer back to what I've done and go look on the descriptions and see what I used and where I used it. And sometimes what I end up doing is I group my pencils and then I know which ones I used where, which is actually really helpful. I should do that a bit more often. I'm looking for shadow. No, this is wrong. Oh dear, I don't remember. Alright, I remember using, I think it was Dungeon. So let's find my swatch book and we can compare with the swatches. This is where I am a little bit scattered today, but we will get there, not to worry. Just one step at a time. Right, I used Dungeon, so I used oyster and then I used Dungeon, which is hiding somewhere. I still love all these names, I mean really. And then I think, let's see, which other browns have I put here? I've got Castle, I've got Huntsman. I don't think Stinkbug is what I'm pretty sure I used Huntsman. Okay, there we go. I found the colors for the tree, so we're just gonna carry on coloring this tree, and I'm going to hop over here and we're gonna see what we can do. So I might even move on to the background. I am leaning towards a pencil, I don't know, pencil background maybe. My experience with Rita Berman's books and Neocolor 2s or even Inktense is not very good, so I am a bit reluctant to pull them out. We could use pastels, but again I'm not 100% sure, so most likely we'll end up doing a pencil background, which is crazy talk because they are take so long to do a pencil background. So I might have to reconsider this and come up with a better idea. But you know, that's part of the fun and the process. I would use Inktense, but I don't know, the last time I did Inktense it just didn't work. So I'm very loath to try it again. Hi, how are you, Pickle? I'm just gonna zoom you in a wee bit more. Try not get my head in the way. are doing all right, thank you. Glad that you are well. Did you have a good coloring month this month? Can't believe we're in October already, my goodness. Where has the year gone, I tell you? It's not too long and then it's Christmas. So I still find with Prismacolors you can smush them into each other, but Monarch, Black Widows and Castle Arts or Teasers, they all need a bit more layering if you want to get that seamless blend. And then I use a bit of black to just darken up the bottom shadow. So I found out that R.J. Hampson has begun bringing out his coloring books as hardbacks, which I think is pretty cool. So I need to sit down and listen to some of the reviews and decide if this is a good idea, an opportunity to get some of his books in a hardback format. I'm really hoping that the paperwork is, well, the paper is much better quality, and yeah, because I do find paper does affect my coloring, so where possible I do want to buy good quality books. I'm not totally anti-Amazon products, because some Amazon stuff actually really isn't too bad and it is a bit more manageable, or I've gotten to the point where I'm starting to really understand my pencils a bit better, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, so I am thinking, oh, should I get one of R.J. Hampson's hardcover books? And then it's like, well, which one do I get? Because he's got Lost and Found, and there's another one. I can see the cover in my head, but I can't see the title. And I believe some people are already starting to receive Rita Berman's new book. I think I saw Lucy Just Adds Colors has got her Rita Berman book. Not sure who else has got it yet, so I want to hop onto Lucy Just Adds Colors and go check out her video. So it's starting to happen, all these exciting coloring books coming out. Thank you. Yes, this is starting to look good. Hopefully keep it moving forward. So my amazing hubby went and made me a cup of coffee. We have this standard joke at home that how long can it before it goes cold? I'm notorious for having a cup of coffee and then not actually drinking it. So I'm going to every now and then be sipping my coffee just to make sure I drink it. I even made coffee this morning in my thermos, and yeah, didn't drink that. Ended up getting caught up just updating some of the kids' clothing, you know, bringing out the hand-me-downs and sorting out all the cupboards, making sure everything was ready for winter or the colder months. So by the time I'd finished that, my thermos coffee had gotten to the point where it was slightly cooler, and then I just kind of got, yeah, what's the point? So I just stopped drinking, which probably isn't very conducive to success. So I'm thinking a nice, maybe rustic brown. So maybe brown ochre or this sort of color on the acorns. Maybe give them some gold tops. Maybe alternate it with a bit of brown and gold. So it's like a bit embellished. Maybe here do like a gold trimming. So I might leave the leaves and move on to this. Maybe do these lines here like in a gold gel pen or even gold paints. I've got some gold acrylic, although I'm not 100% sure it's very vibrant. It's almost like a dark gold and a bright gold. Well, the other thing I could do is try and take gold foil. So I could show you how to do that. I might do that. Just see where I can embellish it with gold foil. Maybe like here, do a gold foil there, along here. Make it look a bit pretty and sparkly. Do the washing. Thanks. It's just hubby checking how he can help with some of the washing. All the things we end up doing, you know, washing needs to be done, dishes need to be done. it just goes on. So hopefully if we can get the bulk of this done, that would be great. So I recently had a situation where somebody was hurt by me not saying hello in a live. Anyway, I honestly don't know how I missed that, but I just want to say, if you have, anyone has said hello on a live and I've not replied, I genuinely do apologize. It was never meant to be rude or mean in any way. I genuinely did not see it. As much as I try very hard to watch the chat streams and to be present when I am on live streams, or even if I pop into someone else's live stream, sometimes I don't always see the hellos, and even though I try really hard to see them. So if you have experienced that and have been offended by my lack of care, I really want to just apologize to you and say I'm really sorry. It was not intentional. And I'm just putting it out there because I do want to show that I genuinely do care, and I do value every person that I meet and I come across. And yeah, I've been raised better. I've been raised to always be pleasant and friendly and welcoming. So if you've heard of me doing that, if you've come across that, please accept my humble apologies. I will continue to make a dedicated effort to make sure I only go on other people's live streams if I can spend the time to interact on the live chats, or if I'm on my own live stream, I will make concerted effort, even more so, to ensure that I'm watching the chats and I do say hello to every single person who comments on the chat. Yeah, I really don't want anyone to be offended or hurt at all. So please do accept my sincere apologies, and know that I will continue to do the best that I can to create an environment where it's friendly, and also to be a friendly voice or person within other people's live streams. So I am liking this black just here at the bottom, just to try and contrast the rest of the page. Hopefully once the background's on, it will work quite nicely, because I'll try and follow the drawing, make it a bit lighter, and maybe this side I'll flip it. So sometimes the shading the artist put in is helpful, and other times it doesn't always work out just in the way we do our coloring. Sometimes I find it helpful to cut my cardstock to fit the size of the book I'm colouring in. It pokes out a little less. So what I find when I'm colouring in lots on trees, I always try and make the centre bit darker, and then as it goes outer, I try and make the outer bits a bit lighter. So I try and contrast the lights and the darks within the knots, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I think I saw a video by Colouring Heaven where they showed how to colour in a tree. I think they did something similar, and I found it quite helpful. And sometimes Colouring Heaven actually has some pretty good tutorials. Maybe we can color in a bit more of the chipmunk. That could look quite cute. So have you ever picked out a handful of pencils and then colored the same page with just those few pencils? Sometimes I wonder if that makes it easier or not. I'm curious, because I think when you're doing like a limited color palette, it can be helpful, but then I don't know, because depending on how much you like to do the layering up and adding a bit more depth to the picture. Okay, so now I'm going to use my black and just deepen up some of this. Okay, I'm going to move on to some of these acorns now. So I'm going to try and stick to the pencils I've got out and see what we can do. Maybe bring in some of that Huntsman for depth. Alright, so let's see. Okay, I'm going to use stink bug. I don't always know. So I get caught up with all these extra zen doodly stuff, and then I panic and I go, oh my gosh, is this the right thing? You know, sometimes you just have to trust yourself and not think too much. Or maybe we do these differently, maybe black stairs, or maybe, oh gosh, maybe we do the door red, or maybe these all like a deep red. Let's move this over a wee bit so you can see a bit more. And then just using the rust. And then I'll build up with the castle. Sort of create like a gradient. So I'm busy looking into getting myself a new water brush. I bought I think it was the Pentel water brushes about 3 years ago, and I'm struggling with one of mine where it seems like it's clogged. So the bristles are also acting up a little bit. So I thought I need to look into getting some new water brushes. So I've been told that Derwent's are really good, so I'm looking at that. Hi Carly, thank you. I'm glad you like it. How are you? Yeah, not too bad, thank you. It was a busy week last week. It's been a bit of a busy season, but it's okay. We'll get through it, and it's always like this time of the year anyway. It's just how the cookie crumbles. But looking forward to all the autumn colouring and then the Christmas colouring, so yeah, one day at a time. Cool, you finished 2 pages, well done. So what were your 2 pages and what is your serious page? Oh, cool. Do you enjoy Cocovio's colouring books? Oh, Hannah Carlson's In the Witch's Cottage. I believe that's a very popular book for this time of the year. got some pretty pictures in it as well. Oh, cool. A witch sitting on a moon. That must be a really cool picture. There's one in Aries Romantic Country, The Third Tale, with a witch riding a broom, and there's a full moon behind her. That one also looks pretty cool. Oh, cool. I want to try and get my hands on a copy of The Third Tale. I can't get it on Amazon, so most likely we'll have to buy it off Etsy. Do that one, that one, that one the same. They kind of even out. Oh wow, nice. You got it on sale at Hobby Lobby. That's really cool. Right, so here is a lantern, and if we put this lantern on, it's going to create a lighting effect. So I'm just trying to remember how to do this. All right, bear with me one moment. So we do this, then it will maybe be along here. Oh wow, for less than $5. That is incredible. Gosh. That is so incredible. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the tree trunk. I like colouring trees. They're fun. I am using the Black Widows. So far I'm sticking to the same pencils I used the last time and working my way around this. They work pretty okay on this paper actually, although I find I can't get a whole lot of layers. I tend to get maybe about 5 layers at the most. This is about 3. I'm already having to just watch because I think I could push it a bit too much and it burnishes quite quickly. I am also experimenting with pressure and using pressure to also help me create blends. Because in the past I've always felt I needed to use different colors or a white pencil, but I'm finding I can use the same pencil and just vary my pressure, and that in itself can be quite effective. I think it always comes down to personal preference really. Some people, their style of coloring works well with Black Widows, and other people it doesn't. But I suppose it's just when it comes to pencils, it's a really personal thing. You have to find what works for your style of coloring. If I'm really honest, I like the Black Widows, but Prismas are still my favorite. I've found them really easy to get comfortable with. But what I like with the Black Widows is they do blend relatively okay. I don't know if I share the popular opinion about Artesas. I just find Artesas harder to blend. They require more work. But it is possible that I haven't found the right paper for them, for the way I color. And then honestly, paper plays such a role. But I do find Black Widows, because either I'm pressing too hard or they don't lend themselves to loads of layering. I find they burnish into the paper quite quickly. But I'm loath to say whether that's the pencil or whether it's just my style of coloring, because I could be using them wrong. You like the Artesa, they just don't like you. Yes. I can totally relate. I mean, the colors in the Artesas are beautiful. They have some very beautiful colors. I've got a set of 48 pencils, and they really are beautifully vibrant. I think the Black Widows lay down better than the Artesas. I find they're a little bit more forgiving. And then my worst budget set, it has to be the marker Raffine. I really don't get on well with the marker Raffines at all. Oh really? Both sets snapped all the time? Wow. I've not heard of that. I thought it was more prismas that snapped. Although I do find if I use just a regular like eyeshadow sharpener, I don't have too many problems with my prismas. Oh wow, you've been looking at Broodfuna squares. Broodfunas aren't bad. I've tried the round ones. Not 100% sure the complete difference between the round and the squares other than the shape. But the round ones, they lay beautiful colors. What I didn't like with the round ones is they just have numbers and no names. So I like names for pencils more than numbers, but I have got a picture in here. So I did this one with Broodfuna rounds, and I did the pencil background with Broodfuna rounds as well. And yeah, I mean, you can see the blend. This I did 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. So they blend relatively okay. I mean, they're not bad for blending pencils. So there you go. They do work in Rita Berman's book. Oh, it's so good that you love the squares. Oh, so the first set Nala knocked on the floor, but the second set did the same. Wow. I'm sorry that you had breakages with your Arteses. I think like the squared, so the Black Widows, they're not square, but they do have these like edges, and whereas the Prismacolor is more round and smooth. So if you're quite a fussy person with the texture of things, I could see how the squares could be more uncomfortable, or the opposite, more helpful, because you got something to grip on. So I suppose it just comes down to personal preference. Oh, okay, so some say there isn't a difference, only in shape. Yeah, that makes sense in my head. The difference also being that the rounds, I think, are slightly cheaper than the squares, but I don't know if that's just marketing, you know, supply and demand and all that. Oh, interesting. They smoosh more than the rounds. I don't know, honestly. I haven't bought them, so I can't comment on that. I think I saw, was it Color? The Color set is now up at 520 pencils. I do know Broodfooner, as well, as far as I understand, Broodfooner is more of an oil-based pencil, so similar to Kohinoor. Is it the Kohinoor Polycolors and the Polychromos? So it's worth thinking, do you prefer oil-based pencils or wax-based pencils? Because they do layer differently. I think wax-based pencils are a bit more towards smooshing together to a point. Prismas, I think, are probably up there as far as the most forgiving and smooshable. But with oil pencils, as far as I understand, you need to do a lot more light layers and build them up slower. I do stand to correction on it. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with that many either. I think it comes down to personal preference with all supplies, as we all color differently with different pressure. As long as we are all activating Inktense, then it's all good. Yes, activate Inktense. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with 520 pencils, honestly. I mean, I've got pencils in my collection that I've bought, and I don't use them a lot because I prefer Prismacolors, or sometimes I want to use polys, and then I use polys. But I mean, I'm still trying to figure out which pencils work best in the majority of my books. So far I've found like Prismacolors consistently work in a lot of my books, and then some books polys work better. Okay, so you like a harder pencil. To be honest, I was thinking about, you know, the whole layers and all of that, and as you know, I watch Coloring with Elena, and she doesn't use a lot of layers, but she still creates beautiful artwork. And then a while back, I watched a painter, I think it was an acrylic painter, and she was doing a realism painting, but she didn't use layers upon layers. What she did is she just put the right colors in the right places and then blended them together, and it still was as effective as the multiple layers. So I'm kind of like going on the basis at the moment that layers are great if you like a lot of layers, but you can, it doesn't necessarily mean that your work is less beautiful than those with loads of layers. I think if you just enjoy the process and you love your work, I mean, you can create beautiful pictures with only 2 or 3 layers. So I don't know, I just think I just wonder if it's really is the be all and end all. So right now I don't know, and I'm just throwing it out there. I really like depth in color personally, so I tend to push my coloring to have more depth, and because I like the bright colors. But if I could do that with less layers and speed up my process and color more pictures, I'd be really happy. Three layers and you're done. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's hard work doing all those layers. Oh, those Anastasia pages do need a lot more layers. But then again, you know, portraits, if you're going for, I think portraits in themselves just lend to a lot of layers. I mean, like, you look at these little leaves here, all these cherries, they don't need 500 layers. They just need a splash of color. Exactly, I agree with that. I think it's whatever works for us and that we enjoy, and what we enjoy the most. You like to just chuck everything at a page and not spend a million hours layering. Exactly. One layer of marker with one shade of pencil. Yeah, that is good. I definitely think there is a place for layering. And there's a place for not layering. I mean, it's impossible to do 10 layers, in my opinion, on a small little area like this. I mean, that's just, yeah, like, for me right now would be torture. Right, I need a darker brown, not brown, darker reds. Oh, there goes my technology again. Sometimes I don't know whether it's my phone, whether it's the laptops, because I have 2 laptops out, and they generally both switched on. Right, we need a brown bug. I like brown bug. Right, so brown bug. And sometimes I use the layering pencil because it just makes life so much easier. So I've recently been trying to use my Prismacolor blending pencil. Although I've seen some people use blending stumps. I honestly thought that blending stumps were mainly for graphite work. So to see people using them in coloring is very fascinating. I like this color. I think this has come up nice. So I'm going to try and pull that color up to here. I might add some of the brown bug in just to make it a bit more reddish. I might make the tip here like gold. It could look pretty. I like gold foil, but I do find it a messy, it doesn't come out very clean. It's quite messy, and I think I just got to keep practicing it, and then eventually I'll come right. But for now, it's really a lot of fun. It's just, yeah, messy, or I don't always get it, the glue on very well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's just fun to put it on, and then you've got loads of coloring. But I vowed after doing a crown in foil, I vowed I will not do it again, not on such a big area. But on like trimmings here, it looks nice. Yeah, I think I did put it on a bauble. I've put it on a few things. Oh, cool, a gold flaked bathtub. That sounds awesome. I love the sound of that. I'm trying to think what to do with these two. I might make this one light. Maybe I'll bring in some oyster. See what this does. It was a hot mess. Here's a shiny hot mess. At least you were brave enough to try. I do like the idea of trying washi tape for clothes on portraits, or you know, those portraits where you've got a girl and she's in a dress or something. I've seen quite a few reels on Instagram where people will cut out the washi tape and put it on as clothes, and then they will shade over the tape just to create a bit more depth and dimension. So I'm toying with the idea of getting some really pretty washi tape and seeing where I can try that. And there's also the coffee spill ones where you have a page, you plop some coffee on it, tap the coffee and it splatters, and then you take a fine liner and you trace over the splashes, and then you color wherever it's splashed. So I think that looks pretty cool. But I'm too scared to do it in some of my coloring books because I don't want to, you know, damage the coloring book. So I might have to try and copy the page onto different cardstock. Yeah, you used it like paint. Hi Leslie, how are you? Yeah, exactly, a sharp craft knife for the washi tape. Oh, cool, you made a washi tape mermaid tail. That's really cool. I know people do washi tape borders and that sort of thing as well. Oh wow, wow, you even tried mustard and ketchup. Oh my goodness, you are so adventurous. I don't know if I have the courage to do that. Well done to you. I'm sorry to hear your YouTube channel, old YouTube channel, got deleted. That's not fun. With the washi tape, I used wax paper, traced the shape, then added the washi tape and cut around that. Then peeled the washi tape off and stuck it to the page. That's a cool idea. That's what I love about art. You can be so creative and try so many different things. Oh, okay, I get you. You had to delete the channel because of the new rules around the kids. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think it's also a lot harder to monetize a channel if it's targeting kids as well. I haven't looked into it too much. I do try keep my kids kind of out of my videos. But that's just more because I don't really want them on social media at their age. I think social media is more, you know, it's for a later age. Maybe I'm a little bit old-fashioned, but I don't really want them on it, really. Oh no, YouTube still thinks that some of your videos are for kids and turns off your comments. Oh, I'm sorry. That's annoying. So this has a lot of pretty going on here. Oh, that's cool that you would do coloring challenges together. It's a pity YouTube makes it harder to do that sort of things. So here you've got an open window, so I presume we're going to have to color that in and then maybe glaze it with, I don't know, blue. Oh, that's going to do my head in. Okay, I'm getting distracted now, so I'm going to use Dragon Fizz. Do I have a tutorial showing how to color black hair? I did do a Christmas gnome with black hair. I'd have to check if I did a video for that. And I did have the Mysteria girl. I tried to give her black hair and I ended up giving her more grey hair. So if you want, I can try and do a tutorial with black hair. You know, there's always a case of third time's a charm. I'll have a look for you. I am busy with a portrait in Christine Karen's Fairy and Fantasy too, and I could quickly hop on there and give her black hair. So I haven't done her hair yet, so that's not a problem. I'm due to start making more tutorial videos anyway, or color along videos, because I'm slowly running out of videos. So I've got I think one set left, and then to edit, and then I'm done. So I do need to make more. Yeah, prismas are lovely. And black widows are they're pretty impressive. I wouldn't discount them. Okay, I've just checked. I do have in my Anastasia Elicalderiva play. I think I've got a playlist, but I've definitely got black hair with polychromos on the channel. And I do have gnomes. I'll see if I can share this with you. Right, there's one. That's to the gnomes. And then this one is the one that looks more like gray hair than black hair. I'll have a try again for you and see, maybe I can have more luck. My hair never comes out the way I see other people doing it, unless I follow like a Chris Cheng tutorial and do it exactly the same process she does. Then I tend to have a bit more luck. But then if I go and try to do it on my own, I end up with something completely different. Don't worry, I will do it as soon as I can, when I can. What I'll do is I just write it down in my creative planner, and then at some point I get to it. Hi Leslie, I do see you. I do see you here. I'm glad you love the brute furnace squares. I do see Leslie up on the chat, so I have already seen and replied or tried to read your comments, Leslie, that you prefer, you like the prismas and you also like the black widows. Oh, okay, and you've said round brute funas are more waxy and squares are more oily. Oh no, Leslie, you're behind. Oh, don't worry. I can have two conversations. I appreciate the info about the squares being more oily and the rounds more waxy. It's very insightful, and it's also really good to know. So let's see. I need to do the brickworks now and the stairs. But at least that's our huts done. And I might bring more green along here, so it just lightens up the whole thing. Hi Mona, how are you? Oh, thanks Pickle for joining. Have a great week. And we'll see you soon. Oh, I'm glad you're well, Mona. So here on this lantern, I'm trying to vary my black pencil to create that highlight and shadow. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. It's slowly getting there. I always love how easy Rita Berman books are, especially once you get started. put a little bit of yellow on here. So do you ever color a page with a bit of a story in mind? Or do you just pick up and color? No, you just pick colors and go for it. Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier. You're not usually a story too focused on what colors to use. But sometimes you'll say, oh, well, we'll just say the bunny was in a hurry. That's cool. You don't have time to make up stories. No. Sometimes it's just more fun to sit down and just pick up pencil and color in. I sometimes just don't have the energy to create a story. I like the idea, but yeah. Leslie, do you show your finished pages for the month in a live stream? You'd love to listen to everyone else's stories as they color. Yeah. just making it look like the lights are on and everybody is, well, more or less home. So the two chipmunks could either be kids and moms at home work, or maybe it's like one of those where each acorn hut could be a separate room, and then you can scurry from the kitchen somewhere else to the bedroom. I don't know. Oh, okay, fair enough. You don't like doing videos, so you use live streams. But you haven't shown pages in a while? Okay, cool. I'll keep an eye out for your Friday stream, and if I don't catch it in time, I'll definitely try and catch the replay. Yeah, stories do make the picture more interesting. Again, I suppose it depends on the purpose or what you fancy at the time. So at one stage, my hubby really did a whole lot of research and just watching YouTube videos by homesteaders in the States, and he really liked the idea of owning land and having his own homestead and building a house and all of that. And unfortunately in the UK it's not so easy to do because it's so expensive to buy property here. So we had to kind of shelf that idea. But when we were looking into it, we would sit together and we would talk about, you know, how he would build a house or what we would use while he was building a house, that sort of thing. And at one stage we thought of yurts, and then you would connect the yurts and create passages, and you'd have one yurt maybe for your lounge, your kitchen, another yurt for a bedroom or two, and you'd create all these different sort of things. Hence why when I saw this page, that came to mind, and I thought, okay, you could possibly have, like, here is maybe the dining, the lounge area, maybe this is 3 bedrooms, maybe here you've got, or maybe this is a kitchen and a family room and a kid's bedroom, and maybe this is another kid's bedroom and another bath. So that kind of thing. So yeah, my brain just kind of went that way. Totally random. I'm not sure if yellow windows are the best. Whenever I think of lights on, I always think of yellow because it just feels so much warm and cozy. Whereas if you use, like, I don't know, blue, I just struggle to get blue windows to look like windows. So like here, you come down, we just follow the shape of the acorn. Sort of, something like that. Yeah, yurts are awesome. I mean, we even thought of like static caravans and how you could buy two big static caravans, have them connected to each other by a sort of like passageway. I struggle with windows during the day because I don't actually know how to color them. Like, how do you color windows for daytime? So I honestly find daytime windows a bit exasperating. And then when I use the gel pen, it doesn't seem to show up very well on blue windows. Oh, okay. You would use grey colours or indicate white. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, exactly, Carly. If it was daylight, why would they have lanterns? Exactly. And what's the point of a lantern if you can't have it glowing? Black just works. I really enjoyed watching Peter Hewitt's Inktense videos for Magical City. She does a lot of paving stones and stairs and all of that, and it really helps when you're doing sort of windowsills, and because Magical City has quite a lot of them, so I found it really helpful. Just some helpful tips on how to actually color in windows and doors, door frames and that sort of thing. I'm wondering if we should do blue background or dark green. I'm almost leaning towards blue, so I think it will really make all the colors stand out. I just realized I forgot to color this. Like, oops. I like the idea of alternating white bricks or light bricks on dark background, or the other way around. Between yellow and blue so as not to make green. I'm trying to figure out a background for this one page. I'd want to use a yellowy color as a glow around some objects, but I'm using indigo and 90% grey for night sky. What color can you use between yellow and blue so as not to make green? If you wanted to use yellow around some objects, what if you took a yellow and then lightened it into a light grey, or which can then go into a blue, and then you're not getting the two together. So let me get a couple of pencils. We're using a indigo. There's my indigo, Just pull out a page quickly. So here I've just got the back of a page. So if I've got an object, let's say just pretend. Sorry, my head's in the way again. So I want to create it yellow. Oh no, it's okay, I don't mind. And then see if I do like a grey around it. I mean, rather test it here. And if it doesn't work and you don't like it, then you know you don't have to do it. So it saves you. And then I'd probably blend into it like this and just clean it off. But I'm still not mixing and making green. Yeah, this is a French grey, but you could probably use a 10% cool grey or a 20% cool grey. I mean, the grey, it will work either which way. Because the grey will just act like a blocker. And create like a halo thing going on there. You can still, if you want more of a lighter blue, at least the grey, whether it's a French grey or a cool grey, it should give you a similar effect. And then, I mean, if you really want to lighten it up, you could even use a white. So there, it just limits the green. Just a thought. Not sure if that's what you're going for. And then you can take a gel pen or anything. But yeah, that's how I would try and prevent mixing the blue and the yellow together. I don't know what to do with the doors. Yeah, totally cool, Leslie. I mean, you just, or you could use a white pencil, create a glow around that, or maybe you could use a grey-green light around the green and then move on. Right, I think I'm going to leave it here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, over the next few days I can do more of the leaves and finish the tree trunk. And then when we come back on Monday, maybe get to the chipmunks. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here for today, and I haven't really added any new colors, so that's good. And then I will see you guys on Monday. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, for chatting. I really appreciate it. It's been great fun, and I hope you have a really good week and a good start to the month, and I will see you next week. Thanks everyone. Have a good week.